Satnam, good morning. Good morning. I wanted to share something inspired by stuff that I am currently traversing through. I endeavor to be a student. And actually, it was pointed out to me recently by a friend how it's interesting that I endeavor to teach and lead, but I'm also typically vulnerable in terms of sharing stuff that I'm like either working through or just have worked through. And it's true that I do those things. And I think part of it is just staying humble. We all have the tendency, and this is actually something that's kind of fascinating because I know if you're like me and you've taken any types of like trainings around marketing and selling, there, one of the key concepts that's taught is positioning, like positioning yourself as an expert so that people are willing to trust you and to give you their money to like buy what you're selling. And there's obviously something very real and necessary to some degree about that, because if you don't know what you are selling, if you don't know what you're talking about, then you're not really trustworthy and people shouldn't be buying into you. Then you're kind of a fraud, right? However, the downside of that, of the positioning aspect as an expert, is that sometimes it gives us this false sense of bravado, this false sense of I have the answers, period. This is the way, period. And that can sometimes lead into dogmatic thinking. It can lead into constriction. It can lead into a lot of tension. And that is where dogma comes from, right? Within, say, we're going to think about religion. There's dogma within every religious sector, and there's dogma in a lot of different like coaching arenas, and that's what it is. It's when the thinking becomes so narrow and so sure that there's no room for like mystery. There's no room for humility anymore. And of course, it's all relative, right? So again, in terms of selling, yeah, you do need to be kind of an expert at something, or position yourself in such a way if you're going to sell. You do need to be trustworthy, or you should ideally be trustworthy if you're going to sell something. But we live on a polarity planet. And as such, for every up, there's a down, right? So I just wanted to sort of caution you, if you're buying into programs, if you're buying into coaches, if you're buying into anything, understand that there's an element of positioning that people are doing, right? And so they're attempting to position themselves as an expert to sell you on something. So you need to tune into your intuition and ask yourself, like, what does this person resonate with me? Is what they're saying resonant with me, and does it feel authentic to me? Because at the end of the day, there's a lot of teachers out there, there's a lot of methods out there, there's a lot of people saying that their way is the only way, the dogma, and our job is to discern for ourselves what is resonant to us. There are many paths, and you can apply that. Good morning, Christina and Jay and whoever else is here. You can apply that to whatever, like whether it's a spiritual path, or whether it's getting into shape, whether it's changing the way that you eat, whether it's whatever, right? Any sort of like quote unquote self-improvement path. There's many paths, and you have to find the one that's resonant to you. Resonant, this brings me to the next part of the video, is resonant does not always mean easy, okay? Your intuition speaking to you, your soul resonating with something that feels like home, or feels like I could maybe buy into that, whether it's a coach or whatever, doesn't necessarily mean that it's easy. So the second aspect of sales, and again, this is coming from, I've taken trainings on this stuff. In no means am I an expert, but the second, another element to sales, so there's the positioning aspect, position yourself as an expert, which we fall into the trap of self-importance and ego, and if we take it too far. The second aspect of it is, give people what they think they want, or speak the language in terms of what do people want. If we're going to be honest, we want quick fixes, man. We want quick fixes. We want to feel good. We want to feel good fast. Am I right or am I right? Like, what human out there is not impatient? We want what we want, and we want it now, period. So in terms of marketing, you're going to hear a lot. Get this and get it quick. Use this method, use this path, use this whatever, and it'll be lightning fast, and it'll be easy, and it'll be graceful, and it'll be da 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 da. Okay. So with full disclosure, I absolutely have used some of that terminology. Absolutely have I said, this will be like lightning fast, connect to your intuition, lightning fast, because the methods that I use, so in terms of Kundalini yoga, they are relatively quick compared to other methods. Relatively quick. There's nothing that is finite, right, in this world, except for what is undying. But for the most part, everything in the physical is dying or on its way to eventual death, correct? So everything's relative. So Kundalini yoga is relatively fast. So I have absolutely used that terminology, right? It's lightning quick. However, again, it's a marketing technique, guys. So if you're being told that something's going to happen really quickly and with ease and with grace, just please know that that's not always the case. And if it's not moving quickly, and if it's not always easy, it does not necessarily mean that it's not the path for you, or that you're doing it wrong, or that you're failing at it, okay? So if you're at a mode in life, or maybe you've just gone through it, or you're about to go through it, and you're feeling like, it's just, you're feeling really clunky and clumsy, and like you're just running into walls, and like, give me, like, have you been there? Like, who's resonating with this, right? You just feel like, I thought I was following my intuition, and now it's not. Please know that intuition does not equal always easy. Sometimes there's pain. And why is that? Well, the intuition is meant to align us with what we are, what we actually are, not who we think we are, not who we've been told we are, not what our parents told us we are, not what society tells us what we are, not what our partner tells us we are, not what we actually are. And what we actually are, what all of us actually are, is far more expansive and subtle than our minds are capable of understanding and wrapping themselves around. That's the nature of, that's the mystery of life. Like, do you have a label? Do you have an understanding of what it is that is like turning this planet? What is it that I heard this beautiful explanation earlier, like what causes, like magically the birds just all know when to migrate, right? Like the whales move, the birds move. What is causing the trees to grow and then die when they're meant to? What is cycling us through, right? Like there's a mystery and a magic, and yes, science can point to and understand some of it, but there's a lot that we don't understand yet. There's a lot about even just the human psyche that we don't fully understand yet. Yes, like there's some mystery to it, and it's beautiful. Where the hell was I going with that? Speaking of mystery. Right. So the intuition is meant to sort of guide us to having an experience of that magic that we are, that the mind doesn't comprehend, that the intellect doesn't fully comprehend, that analysis and even psychoanalysis can't fully touch. But in order to have an experience of that, we actually have to also experience that which we aren't. So all of the old dramas and pains and shadow and like old, stuff that we've suppressed into the subconscious needs to kind of come to the surface and be filtered out so that we can get to that which is underneath. So regardless of what path you're on in life, if you're following your intuition and it's wanting to guide you to that experience of you're going to run into times where it feels sticky and hard. So even something that is relatively lightning fast, like Kundalini yoga, you're going to run into resistance. You're going to run into times where it's not easy, where you're just like, I'd rather not. I'd rather just sit on the couch with a bag of potato chips. Thank you very much, right? Like, where's the weed? Where's the whatever? Which, hey, that stuff's all well and good in moderation. Again, relatively speaking, everything is relative. But yeah, I just want to offer that to you today. That first of all, positioning of people that you're following, they are taught in marketing to position themselves as experts. That does not mean they're God, right? So like, just run it through your discernment. Do they resonate with you really? You don't have to buy into everything everyone says. You have an intuition to guide you. You get to try it on for size and decide for you whether or not it resonates. So if you want to try on some of the stuff that I teach and see if it resonates, including some of the stuff that I've just spouted, right? I've just like talked your ear off for like 10 minutes if you've been watching from the beginning. Click on the first link. It's just a free workshop series. You can take it at your own pace, no obligation. If you want to join me locally for classes, if you're in Norfolk or surrounding area, the second link will take you to the explanation of what I'm teaching currently, Thursday nights and Saturday mornings. And I'm also, I think I attached, I'm not sure, I've never done it before, but I attached a, what do you call it? Thing onto this that you can take, a little like quiz, or not a quiz, poll. That's the word, a poll. I need more coffee. If you want to let me know, like, what kind of stuff are you into? Are you into workshops? Are you into class series? Are you into just being able to drop into classes? Have you tried Kundalini yoga? How game are you for trying things on out of the box? And yeah, just as a wrap up, right? Like, decide for you what resonates in terms of different coaches, different self-improvement. I hate that word, but different paths, what resonates with you. Understand that you're going to be told it's lightning quick, it's easy, follow me, it's so easy, it's so fast, it's so graceful. It's not always going to be. The intuition will take you down paths that will feel challenging. Doesn't mean you're failing. It's a part of the human experience, and there's love and there's brilliance and there's intelligence in all of it. Hopefully, ideally, the path that you're following will help you to experience that as well. So it's not just all pain and suffering. There's feeling the pain, but also coming to an understanding, or not even an understanding, but an embodied experience of the wisdom within that pain, if that makes any sort of sense. Thank you so much for joining. I'm not sure who's all still here. Have yourself a beautiful start to the week. Click on the links if you want to check out what I'm teaching right now. Click on the first link, even if you're not local, to give it a go. Again, obligation free. I'd love to know what you think of it, or how it makes you feel if you give it a go. And I'll come at you again soon. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.